Welcome to Smart Girl Philippines. I'm Irish, and the topic of today's short talk is reverse cowgirl. 9 unspoken rules of dating in the Philippines. One of my favorite movies is the movie Ready Player One. And the reason I love it so much is that it has so much counterintuitive wisdom. In order to win the first key to the challenge, all the players in the movie have to win a race in New York City. And everyone thinks that to win the race, they have to go faster than everyone else. And after thousands of races, no one is able to actually win the race. And nobody knows why. So they keep trying to go faster and faster and faster, thinking that's the answer. Until one day, an unknown player with no money decides not to go faster. Instead, he doesn't even go forward at all. But instead, he decides to put his car into reverse at the starting line and drive in the opposite direction of the finish line. When he does this, it ends up putting him on a different road and he is then able to win the race. The secret the entire time was going backwards. And sometimes going backwards instead of forwards is a huge life hack. And sometimes it's a lot more fun. Just like reverse cowgirl. Yeehaw! These 9 rules are special because they all have one thing in common. They're all about going in reverse. They're all about doing less, not more. We live in a world where it seems like everybody and everything is demanding more and more from us. More time, more energy, more money, more attention, and that usually means a lot more bullshit. So, these rules are going to be incredibly helpful for you. They're going to seem extremely counterintuitive, but I'm going to explain each one in detail so you understand why these aren't just good ideas, but they're actually rules for success when it comes to love, sex, and dating in the Philippines. So, let's get started right away. Unspoken dating rule number 1. Let's talk about sex is better. Remember, the key to romantic relationships is all about building tension. And the less you talk about sex before you meet the Filipina or when you're on a date or when you're in a relationship, then the better the sex is going to be. And that's because more tension is going to build. The big tension on a first date is all about sex. So, if you talk about it before you meet or while you're on the date, then it's like letting all the air out of the big balloon. Guys, the tension is good. And the more tension, the better. It's counterintuitive because the less you talk about sex, the more wet she's going to get. My sister said, the best sex she ever had while dating a foreigner was with a guy who never talked about sex. They chatted, they talked on the phone, they went on dates, but he never brought up the topic of the naughty sauce with her. And she said it ended up being the best sex she ever had, that it was the most intimate she ever felt with a guy. And I know why. It's because by not talking about sex, they were able to naturally build tension. And then, when they released the tension by having an explosion, it felt really good. So, even though it might be really tempting to start talking about sex right away with the Filipina you're chatting with for the first time, or when you're on a first date with a Filipina, don't do it. Just let the tension build and build. I can't take it anymore. I want you so bad now. Please, take me to your room now. Unspoken dating rule number 2. Less chatting is better. Here's what usually happens. You meet a Filipina online, you start chatting with her, and you fall in love with her, and suddenly you're chatting non-stop. You're replying to every message. You're chatting every morning. You're chatting throughout the day. And you go to bed with your phone and you chat with her for an hour before you go to sleep while you wag off. The more you chat with her, the more you're walking into a trap because you can never go backwards. In a relationship, you can only advance. You can never retreat. You're eventually going to figure out that chatting nonstop with a Filipina is unsustainable, and once you pull back, then the relationship will more than likely come to an end. If a beautiful Filipina started eating dinner with you every night after she got off work, and then after 2 weeks she said, "Hey, I really like you, but my life is starting to fall apart. I haven't had time to pay my bills, or do my laundry, or go grocery shopping, or hang out with my friends, or talk to my parents. Let's just have dinner once a week until I can get things figured out." That would more than likely create a lot of problems in the relationship. You would be insecure and wonder if she was dating someone else. Maybe you would try to find someone else to start having dinners with to fill the void. Maybe she would be worried that you might lose interest in her because she had to pull back, and now it makes her really insecure. And none of these emotions or insecurities have anything to do with the actual relationship. Instead, it has everything to do with basic human psychology. And that's the rule, that for a relationship to grow, you can only advance. You can never retreat. So, here's my best no bullshit advice for chatting with a Filipina. There's two types of chatting. There's chatting with someone you're already in a relationship with, and there's chatting with someone that you're not already in a relationship with. If you're chatting with a Filipina you're already in a relationship with, then your chats should be as short and quick as possible as a way to enhance your relationship and to communicate information. Think of it like little pings throughout the day that add some spice to your relationship, and also using chatting as a way to quickly communicate important information. "Good morning, baby. How was your sleep? I miss you. Let's eat Korean barbecue today. I'll meet you at 2. Meet me at Starbucks. Good night, baby. Here's my naughty pic for you." If you're chatting with someone you met online or that you're just getting to know, then your chats should be as quick and as short as possible. And you should always be pushing towards a video call or voice call, and then to meeting in real life as soon as possible. The best way to avoid the chat zone is to think of your phone as a shovel. And every time you pick up your phone to chat, it's like you're picking up a shovel to dig your own grave. The more you chat, the bigger the hole gets. If you chatted for 5 minutes, then that's great. You can easily get out of the hole. And if you chat for 5 minutes the next day, then the hole doesn't get any deeper. But if you chat for 2 hours, that means you've dug the hole for 2 hours. And that's going to be a really hard hole to crawl out of. Because that means she's going to be expecting a 2-hour chat tomorrow, or it means that you're already in the chat zone. And the next time she's bored, you're the guy she'll be reaching out to. And that's not who you want to be. Your phone when you're chatting should be like a hot potato. Get rid of it after a few minutes and either transition to a voice call, a video call, or meeting in real life as soon as possible. I can't think of a bigger waste of time than chatting for days, weeks, months, or even years with someone you're never going to meet. Of course, guys email me all the time and say, "Hey Irish, I can't come to the Philippines, but let's start chatting on WhatsApp." Guys, come on. That sounds like a huge fucking waste of time. Unspoken dating rule number 3. Less time in the Philippines is better. Don't make the mistake of thinking that more time in the Philippines with your Filipina is better in the beginning stages of your relationship. Don't think that trying to show up here and spending a month with a Filipina you're meeting for the first time is a good idea. You're better off coming for a few days or a week or 2 at most. Spend a few days going on dates with her and making a good connection with her, and then leave. This has several strategic advantages. 1, it's easy for her to get excited about. If someone is coming to town for 3 days, then that's exciting. If someone is coming to town for 3 months, then that's a headache. And not because she doesn't like you, it just creates a lot of logistical problems that need solved since she has a life here in the Philippines and likely has school or work and friends and responsibilities to her family members, as well as doing laundry and shopping and other normal things. What sounds more fun for you? Vacation for 3 days or vacation for 3 months? 3 days is easy on the brain. 3 months immediately causes the brain to stress out. 2. It's a forced function. If you're only going to be with her for a week, then it gives her a deadline and a sense of urgency to spend time with you. If you're here for 3 months, then it changes the entire dynamic. 3. It helps set the tone that she is going to fit into your life instead of the other way around. You're the one traveling 7,000 miles and you're the one spending all the money to show up to meet her. 4. It makes you more attractive at the beginning of the relationship. In the beginning, the guy who's available for 3 days is always going to be more attractive than the guy who is available for 3 months. But once the relationship starts to progress, the guy who is only available for 3 days is going to be less attractive than the guy who is available for 3 months. So, be smart. 5. It leaves her wanting more. 6. It gives you time to think. When you show up in the Philippines to date a Filipina, it's easy to get sucked in. No pun intended, a Filipina might meet you at the airport, introduce you to her family, and start trying to have a baby with you in less than a week. So, you need to make sure to have a stopping point so you can take some time to think and process what's happening before you get too carried away. Unspoken dating rule number 4. Less information is better. The less information you share with a Filipina in the beginning of the relationship, the better off you'll be. But Irish, shouldn't you tell her everything right away? And shouldn't she be doing the same? The short answer is no. What typically happens when a guy starts talking to a Filipina is he takes the bait and answers all of her questions. But there's just one problem. She's been trained by the CIA to extract information from you so she can either disqualify you from being a potential match or so she can use that information against you at a later date or so she can put you on the defensive and use it to manipulate you. And the most annoying thing in the world for a Filipina is a bunch of personal questions from a stranger. And that's because she knows that information is power. And she doesn't want a stranger that she barely knows to have power over her. And that's exactly what she's asking you all those questions. Plus, if you answer all her questions, all the mystery is gone. And mystery is attractive. So, here's my best advice. Don't view dating in the Philippines as being an interrogation. Don't let yourself be interrogated and don't try to interrogate a Filipina. Instead, view dating as building a relational bridge strong enough to handle the weight of truth. Let me repeat that. You need to build a relational bridge strong enough to handle the weight of truth. Once you get to actually know someone, then it's okay to start opening up about your life. But until then, don't do it. If hearing it from a waitress isn't enough, then how about a hostage negotiator who works for the FBI? Cruz, who was involved in high-stakes hostage negotiations here in the Philippines and who handled over 150 international hostage cases, explains all of this in his book, Never Split the Difference. The key to negotiation is about getting information. And if you give away too much information too early in any negotiation, you'll be at a huge disadvantage. And yeah, having a Filipino girlfriend can sometimes feel like you're being held hostage. Unless you pay the iPhone ransom, I'm not letting you go. I'm going to handcuff you to the bed and blindfold you and do with you what I want until you meet my demands. So, be a good hostage for Irish and I might let you go. Unspoken dating rule number 5. Less time on the first date is better. This goes back to the idea of building tension and creating scarcity with your time. Go on a date, go have coffee, go walk around the mall, go to worlds of fun, go eat dinner, or go sing karaoke. But do not make the first date longer than a few hours. The shorter, the better. Do not spend an entire day with her. Or even worse, make your first date a trip to Boracay. Less is more. 2 to 3 hours tops. And then end the date. That will set you up for success. Leave her wanting more, okay? Oh, why was our first date so short? You're driving me crazy because I want you so bad. Please, let's spend more time together on our second date. I promise I'll make it worth your time. Pretty please with sugar on top. Unspoken dating rule number 6. Less spicy early on is better. Here's an easy way to remember this. Think to yourself, just the tip, just for a second, and just to see how it feels. Basically, don't try to get too crazy too soon. It's better if you don't bring her to your hotel room on the first date. Or better yet, do take her to your room, but don't do anything. Just show her your room and have a drink and then get the hell out of there. If you're going on a first date with a Filipina, never go out with a loaded gun. Always pop your sausage right before the date. Good sausage, good sausage. Now, go back in your home. If you play it cool, then it's going to build more tension, and then it's going to make releasing that tension feel so much better and so much more exciting later. I have a funny story about this that made me spit out my red horse. I talked to a customer in the restaurant who said he met a Filipina and had an instant boner. He couldn't resist the urge, so he asked her if she wanted to see his room before they went out to dinner. He took her to his room and started playing hide the lumpia within 15 minutes of meeting her. He said it was the best 15 minutes followed by the worst 2 hours of his life because the date sucked. All the tension was gone. He said they both immediately lost interest, and doing that ended the relationship before it had a chance to start. It's just funny to me because he was so honest about it. I mean, hey, I feel the same way sometimes. I've been on dates before and wish he would just fuck my brains out right away. But then I remember, be a good girl, Irish. Go have a nice dinner, talk, and then go home and use your vibrator. Remember, the airplane needs to get up enough speed on the runway before it can take off. And once you get up enough speed and can get the plane up, then you can brace for impact. Hold on, now we're going down. Unspoken dating rule number 7. Less money is better. When you start dating a Filipina, it's going to trigger all kinds of emotions and feelings that you want to take care of her, support her, help solve her problems, and help support her family. Guys, don't do it. I've made plenty of other videos about this topic, but I can't boil everything down to this. The less money you give a Filipina, the more she's going to like you. The less money you give a Filipina, the better chance of success of your relationship will have. And the reverse is also true. The more money you give a Filipino or a Filipina's family, the greater chance your relationship is going to fail. It's that simple. Is it any wonder that all the guys who sent Filipinas $20,000 or $50,000 are the ones crying the loudest about how bad Filipinas are to be in a relationship with? Duh! There's no reason to be giving a Filipina that much money. All you're doing is sabotaging your relationship. Let me share 2 real-world examples with real numbers for you so you can better understand this rule. First, a foreigner builds his new Filipino girlfriend's family a house. And the reason he agreed to build her family a house so quickly was because she was playing with his sausage every night and she had a really tight mango. And he got really excited about it. And he thought by building her family a house that it would mean that he would get to experience that tight mango squeezing his sausage every night for the rest of time. But it just ended up having the opposite effect. He spent $20,000 building the house and then they needed money to hook up the water and electric and internet. And then they're not happy because they needed furniture and appliances for the house. So he buys those things. And then they get their first electric bill. And who do you think needs to pay for it? Of course, the foreigner. And when he either runs out of money or decided not to pay anymore, the family puts pressure on the daughter to find a new foreigner who can help pay all the bills. Once his value got extracted, he was summarily dismissed from the relationship. So, he would have been better off just renting a karaoke machine and buying her family a bucket of Jollibee and a few bottles of Red Horse, and then just spending time dating the Filipina and getting to know her better. Second, most Filipinas make around $500 a month. Some make $300 a month. Some with really good jobs might make $1,000, but on average, it's going to be around $400 or $500 a month. Now, it's actually hard to live on that if you're not living with your parents, or if you're a single mom, or if you live in one of the bigger cities here. A small room or tiny apartment might cost $100 or $200 a month, or it could cost several $100s a month in a more populated area, plus water, rice, food, electricity, phone, internet, transportation, health insurance, clothes, makeup, and other random expenses. And of course, a bucket of Jollibee costs around $11, and a bottle of Red Horse costs $2. So, basically, all that adds up really quick, and if a Filipina is going to survive on a few $100s a month, then she either needs to find supplemental work or she needs to find a boyfriend or husband, or she's going to have a very hard life. But here's where it gets complicated. You fall in love with a sweet and tiny Filipino and decide to start giving her $2,000 a month. So, she gets a new iPhone, a new apartment, and she sends the rest of the money to her family. Now, all the money is gone and she's back to where she started. She still needs money for her basic needs, and so she's either going to get more money from you or she's going to have to get it from another guy. Basically, you would have been better off giving her a few $100s a month to help make her life a little bit easier versus giving her thousands of dollars that ends up hurting more than it helps. Obviously, being with a Filipina is more than likely going to involve some type of financial support for her and possibly for her family. But never forget that less is always better. Unspoken dating rule number 8. Being less direct is better. I don't know how women in other parts of the world are, but Filipinas don't respond well when someone is super direct with them. We love it when someone is indirect. Things like, hey, do you want to get dinner just as friends? Do you like steak? There's a great steak place here, but I need someone to go with. Do you want to come over for a drink? My girlfriend just broke up with me and I just don't want to be alone tonight. Can I buy you dinner? Do you want to watch a movie at my place? Or my favorite pickup line ever, hey, my mom just sent me $20 for my birthday and said to go buy some cake and ice cream. Do you want to go get some dessert with me? I mean, I don't want to let your mom down, so okay. The more you learn to embrace the indirect path in your dating life, the more success you're going to have. It's okay if you disagree. I mean, I disagree with the law of gravity, but it's just a fact of life. Unspoken dating rule number 9. The less you try to hold on, the better. If you're dating a Filipina and you want to try to hold on tight and try to control her or spy on her or make demands of her, then the less attractive you're going to become to her. And the more she's going to want to get away from you. If you try to take away her freedom, then she's going to leave you sooner or later. The more freedom you give her, the more she's going to love you and want to be with you. The more you try to control her, the more she's going to despise you and want to get away from you. Every week or two, I always get an email from a guy that says something like this. Irish, please help. I just spent 2 weeks on my vacation with my Filipina, but now she's acting weird. She seems distant and isn't replying to my messages right away. What should I do? And if you really want my advice, then here's the best answer. Duh! She just spent 2 weeks with you and she probably wants a break. Even though it was probably fun, any vacation after 2 weeks is going to get old. Instead of a vacation, it probably felt more like your way of controlling her. So, just give her space and move on. The more space you give her and the more you move on, the more she's going to want you. The more you try to hold on and try to save the relationship and prove your love and send her flowers and messages and gifts and do everything in your power to get her attention, it will only have the opposite effect, and the more she's going to want to distance herself from you. Guys, that's just how it works. And if after spending 2 weeks with you, she decided that she doesn't like you and that she just wants to move on, then you're just saving yourself a ton of time by letting go. So, trying to hold on tightly in a relationship is never the answer unless you're doing it dog style. So, let's recap. Number 1, less talk about sex is better. Number 2, less chatting is better. Number 3, less time in the Philippines starting out is better. Number 4, sharing less information is better. Number 5, less time on the first date is better. Number 6, less spicy is better. Number 7, less money is better. Number 8, less direct is better. And number 9, less holding on is better. Never forget that less is better when it comes to dating Filipinas. And sometimes the secret to winning the race is going in reverse. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. If this episode was helpful for you and you want to help support my efforts and buy me and Jinky a bucket of Jollibee and a bottle of Red Horse, then you can leave me a tip by clicking the thanks button below or use the PayPal link in the video description. I used to make $1 an hour as a waitress here in the Philippines, so I don't need anyone's money because I know how to survive on very little. But none of this would be possible without all the people who keep showing up and watching my videos. So, thank you very much. And as usual, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for the good luck of the Philippines.